Okay, so let's quickly touch on coronavirus. Then I'm going to touch on global warming just to show how you freaks out there who believe everything you see on TV and what the scientists say and so forth will expose how brainwashed people can be about these issues. For coronavirus, I won't give you any references. I want to keep this video as short as possible, but you can look it up yourself and challenge me. But I'm just telling you that unless you've been under a rock for the past few weeks, you should know that all the models used by the health authorities, the scientists, the doctors, the professors, the WHO, the CDC, to predict a pandemic spread, the spread of the coronavirus, and how many, infected people there will be and so forth, all those models were wrong. Again. All right. If you don't know that, do the research. I'm not going to tell you about that and give you, all the facts and so forth, but that's the general overarching fact. If you don't know that, research it. All the models, all the great scienticians, Scientism, this religion that we all believe in, or the brainwashed people believe in, all the models are wrong. If you don't know that, then you've been under a rock, because the whole debate in America is how all these models are wrong again. Why? I won't go into why. Whether it's done on purpose to scare us all, to keep us all inside, to lock us all down, to make a police state, conspiracy theories, who knows? But what's really funny about, again, I say again, proving all the scientists wrong again. Because what else have we seen in the past few years or past few decades where it's scientists coming out with all their models and predictions and doomsday scenarios, global warming? Okay, I want to give you one example here, and you can look it up yourself. It's Glacier National Park. Right up there in the US on the Canadian border, there's this big national park, Glacier National Park. And obviously it's called Glacier National Park because it's full of glaciers. Well, it used to be. Okay. Apparently, and again, I don't have a source for this right now, but I'm making this video and I'm saying that's what's correct. Apparently the park is changing all its signage, because for the past 10 years or whatever, they put up all the signage to say that all the glaciers, all the glaciers in Glacier National Park will be gone, will be melted by 2020. Okay, I'm not sure how many years those signage has been up for. I think, last 10 years or whatever. Well, guess what? It's now 2020. In fact, it's April 2020. And it's wrong again. The park is changing its signage. Now, I'm not sure what they're changing the signage to, but they might say something like, all the glaciers will be gone by 2030. Now, if you look up the Wikipedia page for Glacier National Park, and again, it's on Wikipedia, I'm not making this stuff up, you can fact check if you want. On the Wikipedia page for Glacier National Park, all it says there is that the glaciers are predicted to disappear by 2030. That's what the Wikipedia page says. Okay, by 2030. Now, okay, here we go. So what's happened here is apparently the park's changing all its signage because they said the model must have been by 2020. There's still glaciers in Glacier National Park. Now, maybe the signage will say 2030. I'm not sure what the signage says. I stand to be corrected on what the signage will say, but the Wikipedia page says that the glaciers will melt by 2030. So the prediction must have been 2020 and it never came out again. So once again, we have all their doomsday models not correct, not proven, false, lies, whether on purpose or whether unintentional mistakes on the part of all these fantastic scientists. Anyway, I don't want to speak for too long, just made that point to try to shock you people. Just open your minds and think about what the governments are doing, what all these experts are doing. We are supposed to just blindly follow all these experts and scientists. It's a religion, people. Scientism. You know, it's a religion just as the church is. And it's very dangerous just to follow, because a lot of science is fake. Engineering, on the other hand, we need engineers to build bridges and roads. Yes, that builds a civilization. But the scientists, they keep producing rubbish that you can't prove, especially what I call big science. I've spoken about this in videos several years ago, what I call big science, the astronomers, the physicists, all this sort of stuff, because they need billions of dollars, billions and billions of taxpayers' dollars, these scientists, to build their big toys, big telescopes to see a black hole somewhere we can't see. Whoa, wow. Apparently there's a photograph of a black hole. What is that? I've got no idea. How is a black hole going to feed me? Well, you've taken billions of dollars away from my food and welfare and so forth. So I don't know. And of course you've got the physicists with their colliders, multi-billion-dollar colliders to look at quarks, atoms that you can't. It's either stuff in space you can't see, or tiny atoms you can't see. That doesn't help us. Doesn't help us at all. Doesn't feed anyone. Doesn't put roofs over people's head, all the poverty and homeless people in the world. But the big science, the scientists, the scientism takes billions of dollars for these massive toys to look at things we don't care about. Who cares? Atoms, quarks, muons, what are they called? Black holes in space. Anyway, look, this video is going to get too long. Just want to point that out. You can fact check if you like. Be very careful about the scientists. They're wrong about coronavirus. They're wrong about the global warming predictions. What else are they wrong about? There it is. One more quick comment is that the idea, of course, of these predictions is to scare us all. Like, for the glaciers to disappear by 2020, we've spent the last 10 years, oh no, global warming, the glaciers, we've got to, please government, tax us, because a tax is going to solve climate change, is going to bring the glaciers back, all this sort of stuff. But now, if they change the model to 2030, that's the new prediction. Okay, now it's 2030. So 2020 was wrong, now it's 2030. We're supposed to spend the next 10 years now scared and worried about 2030, quick, let's tax us and do a tax, and we've got to, listen to a 10-year-old kid and all this sort of stuff. That's what it's about, just to scare us. All these models and predictions that turn out to be wrong are just to scare us into submission to believe the agenda, this false agenda, this scientism religion. We're supposed to just believe the TV, believe our governments, believe the scientists, and we're just meant to be scared into submission by 2020. Now it's by 2030, and they're wrong about coronavirus, how many people get infected and so forth. That's what it's about. One more comment, there it is.